Hello everyone, welcome back to the continuation of solving linear equations part 2. Alright, today we are going to discuss about solving simultaneous equations, and we are going to discuss mainly two methods, that is substitution method and elimination method. Okay, so without wasting time, let us go into solving simultaneous equation by substitution method and later by elimination method. Basically, what do we do with substitution method is you choose one equation, and from that equation you make one letter the subject. And if the letter has been made the subject already, then you go to step number 2, which is substituting that equation which has the letter the subject into another equation. Okay, so let me show the process. So we have this question here: solve these simultaneous equations. This is question number 1. So what we do, we simply label the equations. So you take the equations and do labeling. So this is how we label equations. So this equation is labeled as equation number 1, and this is labeled as equation 2. Okay. Now, from these two equations, I try to examine these two equations and then check which equation has got the letter the subject. So in that case, equation number 2 is having a letter y, which is made to be the subject. Okay. Now the question is, what if the equation has, what if we have among these two equations there is no any equation which has the letter the subject? What we do, we take any of the two equations and choose one letter and make that letter the subject. So in this case, equation 2 is having y, which is already the subject. So this equation, which has got the letter the subject, is going to be substituted into equation number 1. So substitute y equals 2x minus 5 into 3x into 3x plus 2y equals to 60. Now the question is, how do we do that? Okay. You can see that, let me try to make a border here. Okay. So you can see that here in this equation, which has a letter the subject, this equation reads as y equals to 2x minus 5. So we are going to substitute y equals to 2x minus 5 into 3x plus 2y equals to 60. So what do? We write 3x plus 2y. Now in place of y, we keep brackets and then we write 2x minus 5, because this is the value of y. Y equals to 2x minus 5. So we write 3x plus 2y, so that will be 3x plus 2, open brackets, 2x minus 5. That is the value of y. So the equation will be equals to 60. And then you expand the brackets like so, and this will be 3x plus 2 times 2x is 4x, 2 times negative 5, that is negative 10, equals to 60. When you reach here, you collect like terms. This negative 10 goes to the right hand side, and this will be 3x plus 4x equals to 60 plus 10. So when you reach here, you simply simplify this. That is 3x plus 4x, this is 7x, 60 plus 10, this is 70. Now I'm looking for the value of x, so I have to divide by 7. I have to divide by 7. 7 will cancel. 7 divided by 7, this will mean that x equals 10. Because by 7, 1, by 7, that is 10. You see that? So we got x equals to 10. So it's time for us to find the value of y. Remember this equation here? This equation here says y. So from here, from y equals to 2x minus 5, we can find the value of y from there. So as long as we know x equals to 10, so we are going to substitute where there is x in here, we are going to write 10. So y will be equal to 2 times x, but x is 10, so it will be 2 times 10, then minus 5. Alright, so y will be equal to 2 times 10 is 20. You have to follow BODMAS that you have to multiply before you minus. Do not take 10 minus 5. That is incorrect. You first obey BODMAS. So 2 times 10 is 20 minus 5. So your y will be equal to 15. Okay. So what is the value of x? The value of x equals to 10, comma, the value of y equals to 15. Okay. Now, there are another way of writing the final answers. There is other ways of writing answers. For example, sometimes you can find that there is dotted lines here, then they keep a comma, and then they keep some other dotted lines. Then they keep brackets. Now they will ask you to fill in the blanks. So the first value to come here before a comma, the first value to be filled here before a comma is the value of x. And the number or the answer to be filled here after a comma is the value of y. So it's like coordinates geometry. So when you see this, when you see that happening in the exam, there is after solving all these answers, then they give you this format of the way of writing answers as your conclusion. What you do, the first value that comes here is the value of x, that is 10, and the second value which comes after here, after the comma, is the value of y. So you are good to go then. See that? All right, let us go to next other questions. We have solve each pair of simultaneous equations. Okay, like as I said earlier, you have to just check very closely those equations and see which equation has got the letter, the subject. Okay. Now, let us try to label this. Let us try to label these equations. This is equation number 1, and this is equation number 2. Okay. So step number 1 is to check which equation has got the letter, the subject. In that case, we have equation number 2. This is the equation which has got one letter, which is already the subject. So what we are going to do is substitute y equals to 2x minus 8. Substitute that into this equation here, into x plus y equals 1. See that? Okay. So we substitute y equals to 2x minus 8 into x plus y equals to 1. So how do we do that? So you write x, which is this one here, x plus y. Now in place of y, we don't write y. We keep 2x minus 8. We keep 2x minus 8, and that equals to 1. When you reach over here, you collect like terms. This number should go to the right hand side, and this will be 1x plus 2x equals to 1 plus 8. 1x plus 2x, this is 3x, equals to 1 plus 8 is 9. Then divide by 3, x equals to 3. See that? Then to find the value of y, we already know that the value of x equals to 3. So to find the value of y, you come back here, which is y equals to 2x minus 8. So from there, from y equals to 2x minus 8, let me confirm, from here, y equals to 2x minus 8, then you do y equals to 2 times x, 2x means 2 times x, but my x is 3, minus 8, board mass, 2 times 3 is 6, minus 8, y equals to 6 minus 8, this is negative 2. So how do we write the answers? The value of x there, the value of y there. In coordinate style, this will be the value of x comes here before a comma, and the value of y comes here after a comma. So this is negative 2. Okay, that is the answer. Let's go to the second equation. X plus y equals to 19. Y equals to 5x plus 1. Label the two equations. Equation number 1. Equation number 2. Now you realize that equation number 2 has got a letter which is already the subject. So what we are going to do is substitute y equals to 5x plus 1, because y is already the subject, to substitute it into x plus y equals to 19. Now how do we do that? We have x plus y. Now in place of y, you write 5x plus 1. Okay, so that will be 5x plus 1, that is your y, that equals to 19. Collect like terms, positive 1 should be going to the right hand side, and this will be 1x. So 1x plus 5x will remain here, 1x plus 5x. This will be equal to 19 minus 1. Now after collecting like terms, we simplify them. 1x plus 5x is 6x equals to 19 minus 1, that is 18. Don't worry, once you get the numbers which are not divisible, you can leave your answer as a fraction. Okay, so to get the value of x, you need to divide by 6, and this gives you x equals to 3. See that? X equals to 3. How about y? Now from the equation which has got the letter the subject, that is y equals to 5x plus 1. So from there, from y equals to 5x plus 1, we have y equals to 5x means 5 times 3 plus 1. This will be equal to y equals to 15 plus 1, y equals to 16. Okay, how do we conclude our answers? It's easy. Just do like so. The value of x comes there, the value of y comes there. But this is not necessary. I'm trying to show sometimes in the exam, they keep some blanks to fill. So x comes 3, y comes 16. That's all. Okay, we have the last question on this page. We have x plus y equals to negative 2, y equals to x minus 10. I believe that you already understand the method, so we are going to substitute this equation here into this equation here. So without wasting time, it will be x plus y. Now in place of y, you keep x minus 10. Okay, that equals to negative 2. Collect like terms, this negative 10 should be going there. and this, there is no number, so you keep 1, you keep 1 over here, so this will be 1x plus 1x equals negative 2 plus 10. So this will be 2x equals to negative 2 plus 10. Flip the numbers, you'd be getting 10 minus 2, and that is 8. So to find the value of x, you need to divide by 2, you need to divide by 2, so x equals 4. So x equals 4, we substitute it here to find the value of y. So y equals x minus 10, but we already know what is the value of x, so in place of x, I simply write 4 minus 10, and y will be equal. 4 minus 10 is negative 6. Okay, how do we conclude the answers? Put the value of x over here, keep the value of y there, put brackets in coordinate geometry. This is coordinates, the concept of coordinates. Okay, so x comes here, and y comes there. That's all. Okay, let us see the next part. The next part is here. Okay, solve these simultaneous equations. We have y equals to, all right, so solve these simultaneous equations. We have y equals to 3 times x plus 5 and 2x plus y equals 0. Okay, let us make borders because we have so wide space. Okay, we can even go down until there. So we have y equals to 3, then x plus 5. See that? So this is equation number 1. And the equation number 2, you have 2x plus y equals 0. This is second equation. Now, solve these simultaneous equations now by substitution method, because this is the method which we are discussing about. So the method here is substitution method. See that? Okay, what did I say about substitution method? You take a good look of equation number 1 and then see if there is any letter which has been made the subject. In this case, y is already the subject of the equation. So what we are going to do is to substitute y equals to 3x plus 5. We are going to substitute this equation here into this equation here. So in other words, we are going to substitute equation number 1 into equation number 2. Now how do we do that? We write 2x plus y. Now in place of y, we are going to write 3 open brackets x plus 5 close brackets. Okay, so 2x plus y will be reading as 2x plus 3 x plus 5, and the equation will be equal to 0. So what we are doing is to substitute this equation over here into this equation here. So in other words, substitute equation number 1 into equation number 2. All right, let us proceed. This will be 2x. Okay, now here we have to open the bracket. So this will be 3 times x, then 3 times 5. So this will be 3x plus 15 equals 0. Collecting like terms, this positive 15 will be heading to the right-hand side, leaving 2x plus 3x on the left-hand side. So this will be 0 minus 15. Cancel this 0. So you remain with, on the left will be 5x equals to negative 15. To find the value of x, you need to divide by 5. You need to divide by 5. This will cancel. X equals to negative divided by positive is negative. 15 divided by 5 is 3. So the value of x is x equals to negative 3. Okay, so how do we find the value of y? The value of y comes from here. comes from here. Can you see this equation here? Question number 1. Y equals to 3 open brackets x plus 5. Okay, so now y will be equal to 3, but now I know the value of x, so in place of x I'm going to write negative 3 plus 5. See that? Now y equals to negative 3, both must start with the brackets, negative 3 plus 5, negative 3 plus 5 will be equal to 2. So 3 in a bracket we have negative 3 plus 5, that will be positive 2. Now this means 3 times 2, and y will be equal to 6. See that? So y is 6, x is negative 3. Okay, so you can pause the video and try to take notes, transfer these notes onto your worksheet. For those students whom I teach, I believe that they have got worksheets, so you can pause the video and start taking the notes. For those who have got no worksheets, you can transfer these notes to your counter books and or to your notebook. It depends on which tool you use to take notes from the teacher. But otherwise, we are good to go. We have other questions here which we need to solve by substitution method. You have 2y plus 3x, you have 2y plus 3x equals 6, and you have x equals to 4y plus 16. So call this equation number 1 and call this equation number 2. Labeling of equations is very important so that you can come to know what is equation 1 and what is equation number 2. All right, so try to check very closely. You find that here we have equation 1, we have 2y plus 3x equals 6. See? And equation number 2, we have x equals 4y plus 16. Now, what I always say is after you have labeled these equations, that this is equation number 1 and this is equation number 2, what I always say, solving by substitution method, it requires you to choose one equation and make one letter from that equation, make it the subject. Okay, so you find that from equation number 1, we don't have any letter which is the subject. But when you check in equation number 2, you can find that x is made the subject. So in this case, we go to step number 2, which is substitute equation 2 into equation 1. Why? Because equation 2 has got the letter which is already the subject. Okay. Suppose equation 1 and equation 2 has not the letter which is the subject already. So what we do, we choose any of those two equations and choose one letter and make such a letter the subject, so that you can proceed to step number 2. Otherwise, here equation number 2, x is already the subject. So what we are going to do is substitute that equation to substitute equation 2, which is x equals to 4y plus 16. Put it into equation number 1, which is 2y plus 3x equals 6. Okay, how do we do that? Okay, take your equation number 1, which is 2y plus 3x. Now, in place of x, we don't again write x, we write this one here. X equals to 4y plus 16. So in place of x, you write 4y plus 16, and that will be equal to, okay, 2y plus 3x. So 2y plus 3x equals to, you see that? 2y plus 3x equals 6. Okay? Now when you reach here, open the brackets. This will be 2y plus this multiplies here will be 12y. The same number multiplies here. That will be 48 equals to 6. Okay, let us proceed. This is 2y plus 12y equals 6 minus 48. And this one will be 2y plus 12y. This will be equal to 14y. 6 minus 48, that will be negative 42. Yeah? Okay. To find the value of y, divide by 14, divide by 14. So y equals to negative divided by positive, that will be negative. 42 divided by 14, that will be equal to 3. See that? Okay, then we got y. How about x? So from here, let us pull this border, extend it down. Okay, so we already know what is the value of y. Then we go back to this equation here. We go back to this equation here, which says x equals to 4y plus 16. Use that to find the value of x. So x equals to, right, I forgot that. X equals to 4y plus 16. Okay, 4y plus 16. Okay, and this will be, let me correct my 6. Okay, so it is 4y plus 16. Then I'm looking for the value of x. So substitute y into here, so this will be 4y. Instead of writing 4y, 4y means 4 times the value of y, but the value of y is negative 3 plus 16. So BODMAS over there, x equals to positive times negative is negative. 4 times 3 is 12. Then add 16. X equals to negative 12 plus 16. Just flip the numbers, switch the numbers around. So this is the same as 16 minus 12. And this equals to 16 minus 12 is 4. See that? So now how do we write the answers in conclusion? Like as I said, using the concept of coordinate geometry, put the value of x over there, put the value of y over there, keep in the brackets, but this is not necessary. X goes there, y goes here. So those are the answers. Okay, let's go to, yes, this question over here. This question says, okay, let us go this way. Okay, this question says 2x plus y equals 5. Okay, so we can label directly. This is equation number 1. Okay, question number 2 is 2y equals to x minus 10. This is equation number 2. Okay, now remember what I said by substitution method. So here, by substitution method, we need to choose one equation in which one letter has been made the subject. So let us check equation number 1, 2x plus y equals to 5. There is no letter which is the subject. Equation number 2, 2y equals to x minus 10. Also, we don't have a letter which is the subject. In order for the letter to be qualifying to be the letter of the subject, we need such a letter to remain alone, that y equals to something or x equals to something. But there should not be any number here. So for example, in equation number 2, you have 2y equals to x minus 10. So you may be confused that equation number 2 has a letter which is already the subject, but that's not true. That is not true. You find that in equation number 2, we are almost having letter y to be the subject, but not. See, so what we do, we take advantage of that. So we say 2y from here, 2y equals to x minus 10. We have first to do step number 1. Step number 1 is to make one letter the subject. So in this case, y is almost the subject. So what we do, we divide by 2 throughout, so that we can cancel these 2 and set y free. See that? So x over 2 and 10 divided by 2, that is possible. You can write 5. See that? So now, at least, we are in a position of going to step number 2. Why? Because y is already the subject. See that? So now, what do we do? And sometimes we label this equation, because this equation was not there. We label this equation y equals to x over 2 minus 5. We label this equation as equation number 3, you know, to avoid confusion. So equation number 1 is still intact. Equation number 1 is still intact. Equation number 2 has been used to work out or to make y the subject. You see that? So what we are going to do, temporarily, we can cancel this equation number 2 to show that it is not going to be used when we are doing substitution. Okay? So equation number 2, we can cancel that because equation number 2 has been used to generate or to produce equation number 3. See that? Correct. So what we are going to do is substitute this equation here, equation here, equation number 3, into equation number 1. Can you see that? That means where there is y, I will be writing x over 2 minus 5. Okay, so we are good to go. So 2x plus y. Now in the place of y, I'm going to write x over 2 minus 5. See that? We have 2x. See that? We have 2x plus y equals 5. But in place of this y here, I'm going to write x over 2 minus 5. Okay? So 2x plus y equals 5. All right? You can pause the video and try to see what I'm trying to do over here. Otherwise, let us continue. Okay, now we have the case here. We have these numbers here, which have got the letter, and we have this number here without the letter. So transfer that number on your right hand side, and this remains 2x plus x over 2 equals 5 plus 5. You know the theory behind this is negative 5. When it goes there, it will be positive 5. Okay, so now how do we simplify these fractions? What we do, we find the LCM of 1 and 2, and this is 2. Okay, but on the right hand side, 5 plus 5 is 10. But on the left hand side, find the LCM of 1 and 2. The LCM of 1 and 2 is 2, so 2 divided by 1 is 2. 2 times 2x is 4x, plus 2 divided by 2 is 1. 1 times x is 1x. See that? Let me repeat. 2 divided by 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4x. 2 divided by 2 is 1 times x is 1x. Okay? Then push on 4x plus 1x. This will be 5x divided by 2. This equals 10. Now, how do we move from here? There are so many ways to move from here, but we prefer put this number over 1 and then cross multiply. My students love a lot the concept of crossing multiplication. Okay, so 5x times 1 is 5x. That equals to 2 times 10 is 20. To find the value of x, we need to divide by 5. You see, x will be equal to 20 divided by 5, by 5, 1, by 5, 4. So x equals to 4. You see that? So now we already know the value of x. Now let us proceed to the value of y. Okay, the value of y. So x equals to 4. To get the value of y, there are a couple of methods you can do, but I love taking equation number 3. Question number 3 is here. Y equals to, question number 3 is here. Y equals to x over 2 minus 5. Now I already know the value of x, so it's very easy to substitute over there. Equation number 3 says y equals to x over 2. Let me go back there. Yes, y equals to x over 2 minus 5. Okay, so y equals to x over 2 minus 5. I already know the value of x, so y equals to 4 over 2 minus 5. That equals to y equals to 4 divided by 2 is 2 minus 5. Y will be equal to 2 minus 5 is negative 3. See that? Right. This marks the end of this page. You can pause the video and try to take notes and write them on your worksheet. Right? Let's continue. Now, we are here on this page, solving simultaneous equation part 2. Now, part 2 suggests using elimination method, not substitution method. Okay, and we are good to go. Simultaneous equations part 2. Simultaneous equation part 2. On this part, we are going to use elimination method. But before I continue, I would like to define what does elimination mean. Okay, the word elimination comes from the word eliminate. See that? So comes from the word eliminate, and the word eliminate simply means remove. Okay, very good. So when that concept is clear, then we can do some questions. We already know what does elimination method mean. So elimination, it comes from the word eliminate, and the word eliminate means remove. So in this method, elimination method, basically we try to remove one letter to find the other remaining letter. I should repeat this. Elimination method requires a candidate or a student to remove one letter in order to get the value of the other letter. See that? Let me start with this question here. Let me start with this question. Okay, we have 5x plus y equals 27, and we have 2x plus y equals 6. Okay, let me find a space for this question. I overlooked the space for that, so let me do that. Okay, paste over here. Good. So let me block for now. Let me block these questions. Yes. Good. All right. Solve the simultaneous equations. So we have this equation here. We have 5x plus y equals 27. See that? This is equation number 1. Okay, and we have 2x plus y equals 6. This is equation number 2. See that? Correct. Now, elimination method requires a student to remove one letter in order for us to get the other remaining letter. So now let us say, can you see these letters here? We have x in equation number 1 and we have x in equation number 2. We have y in equation number 1, we also have y in equation number 2. So you can see that these letters are matching exactly. Those letters are matching exactly. So let me show you how do we remove the letter x. How do we remove the letter x so that we can get the value of the remaining letter, and that is y. So what we do, how do we remove letter x? What we do, we keep a border here, and then we check if the numbers on x, if the numbers on x are the same. Okay? In order for you to remove a letter, you need to make sure that the numbers on that letter are the same. Now, since I want to remove letter x, and I have got different numbers on letter x, what I do, I take this number here, this number 2, and multiply it here. I'll show you how do we do that. And I take this number here and multiply it over here. The reason being, I want to remove letter x so that I can remain with only y, so that I can find its value. Okay, so now, after doing that, these 2, multiply it here, this 5, multiply it down here. So how do we do that? From here, we multiply these 2 by every single number which is found in equation number 1. So this is how we multiply. So again, 5 will multiply here, and 5 will multiply over here, and this 5 will multiply over here. Can you see that? All right. Now, you can see that 2 times 5x will be 10x. 2 times y will be 2y, equals to 2 times 27 will be 54. Okay? 5 times 2x is 10x. 5 times y is 5y. 5 times 6 is 30. Let me check closely. That will be 10x, 2y, 54. Yes, I hope we are correct. Then can you see these numbers on x are now the same? We have 10 here, we have 10 here. So what do we do? The next procedure is check the signs. Don't check the signs over here. No, I'm talking about the signs on the numbers of x. So the signs on the numbers of x, we have this 10 here, this 10 is positive, and this 10 is positive. Now, if you have same signs, when you have 2 same signs, we subtract. So same signs, we subtract. Okay? We subtract. Now, how do we do that? How do we use this subtraction sign? Okay. The way how we do this is take the number on top, which is 10x, minus the number at the bottom. So 10x minus 10x, any number minus itself, that equals 0. So this, in short, we cancel them. And then when you cancel them, you proceed with the procedure. This is 2y minus 5y. So you write here 2y, which is this one here, minus positive 5y, minus positive 5y. Can you see that? Then on the right hand side you have 54 minus positive 30. Can you see that? Okay. Now let's proceed a little bit here. Okay, so we have 2y minus 5y. This is negatives times positive. Negatives times positive, you know that this is 2y minus 5y. See that? 2y minus 5y equals to 54 minus 30. 54 minus 30, this will be 24. Yes, this will be 24. Now 2y minus 5y, this will be negative 3y. This equals to 2y minus 5y, this will negative 3y equals to 24. Now to find the value of y, you need to divide by negative 3. You need to divide by negative 3. So this will become positive by 3. So this will be y equals to positive divided by negative is negative 24 divided by 3. 24 divided by 3, this will be equal to 8 negative. See that? Cool, yeah? Good. Now we have got the value of y. Okay, so you can pause the video and transfer the notes for the value of y. So otherwise, let me now head over to how do we find the value of x. Okay. There are two ways we can do. Majority of students, when they reach here, they substitute the value of y into any of those two equations. But I want to continue with the same concept of elimination method, where we remove one letter to get the other letter. So I got the value of y. Let me check. I got the value of y is negative 8. So the value of y here, y equals to negative 8. Okay. Now, I want to continue with the same concept of eliminating one variable or eliminating one letter. Variable means a letter. So I want to continue with the same concept of removing one variable or removing one letter to get the other remaining letter. Okay? But otherwise, when you get the value of y here, you can substitute in any of these two equations and you get the value of x. But I don't want to do that. I want to continue with the same concept of removing one letter to get the other. Okay, now this time I have 5x plus y equals to 27. This is equation number 1. I have 2x plus y equals to 6. This is my equation number 2. Now, this time I want to remove, letter x. This time, nope, letter x, I removed it before. Now, this time I want to remove letter y. Sorry for that. This time I want to remove letter y. Okay, remember what I said? Before you think of removing a letter, you have to ensure that the numbers on that letter you want to remove, the numbers should be the same. But now, surprisingly, I don't have any number on a letter y. Now, if there is no number on a letter, we simply keep 1. Okay, here there is no number, you simply keep 1. See that? Now, here we are lucky. The numbers on y are the same. So since the numbers are the same on y, we go to step number 2, which is to remove that letter, because the numbers on that letter are already the same. Okay, now remember what I said? The numbers are already the same. How about the signs? The signs also are the same. Remember what we said? When the signs are the same, you subtract. Okay, when signs are the same, we subtract. Now, what is 1y minus 1y? The number minus itself equals 0. So in other words, you cancel that. Okay, now how do we move from here? 5x minus 2x, you write that, 5x minus 2x, 5x minus 2x equals 27 minus 6. 27 minus 6. Okay. What is 5x minus 2x? 5x minus 2x, the answer is 3x, equals to 27 minus 6, this will be 21. Correct. Now to find the value of x, you need to divide by 3, so x equals 7. See that? Cool, yeah? So how do we write the conclusion? The conclusion is the value of x, put it here, the value of y, keep it over here, using the concepts of coordinates. So x equals to 7 and y equals to -8. See that? Correct. Now, we have advantage of using a calculator to solve a system of equations, especially when we come to the concept of elimination method, whereby the letters are matching exactly and the numbers are matching exactly. So you can pause the video and copy the notes, but otherwise let me move to how you can use a calculator to check if your answers are correct. Okay. So when you want to use a calculator, you have to be very careful. You have 5x plus y equals 27, and you have 2x plus y equals to 6. Before you think of using a calculator to check your answers using a calculator, you need to make sure that these letters are matching exactly. These letters are matching exactly. So in this case, the letters are matching exactly, and the numbers without a letter are also matching exactly. Okay, so that is step number one. Make sure that if you want to check your answers using a calculator, you have to make sure that the letters are matching exactly and the numbers without a letter are also matching exactly. That is step number one. Step number two, you have to make sure that every single letter, its number is identified. For example, on letter X here, the number is 5, and on this letter X, the number is 2. How about this Y? There is no number, so you keep 1 on this and you keep 1. Okay, having done so, then you are good to go with the calculator. Now, the calculator which I have is this one over here. So my students have got a different calculator, but I hope this will help those students who have got this type of calculator. The first thing you have to do is to make sure that your calculator is cleared. So the first thing you have to do is clear all the memories in this calculator. So simply with my calculator, I just press mode, and then I choose option 1, so then I'm good to go. So the calculator now is free to go. Okay, so what I do after clearing my calculator, what I definitely do is now just find the feature or the option for equations. So what I do, choose the option equation. So what I do, I press mode only once, and then I choose option 5. I choose option 5, which stands for equation. EQN stands for equation. So I press button 5, and then this option of equation is giving me 1, 2, 3, 4 options. Okay, so I choose option 1, which is there for simultaneous equation. So choose option 1 by pressing button number 1. So you are good to go. So what you can see on my screen is that you have these 1 and 2, and then you have A, B, C. Okay, let me explain you what it means. 1 stands for equation number 1. 2 stands for equation number 2. A stands for the first number of x. A stands for the first number of x in equation number 1. B stands for the second number of y in equation number 1, and C stands for the number in equation number 1 which is no letter. Okay, I hope that it helps. And then let us start putting the numbers into the calculator. Okay, equation 1. Let me start with equation 1. What is the value of A? The value of A is the value of x in equation number 1. Or in other words, we say A is the coefficient of x. Coefficient of x means the number written before x Okay, in equation number 1. So that number is 5. Heat is equal to, in order for you to enter that number into your calculator. Okay, what about the value of B? The value of B here is 1. Heat is equal to, okay, now the calculator has already entered that number. Okay, then what is the value of C? The value of C is 27. Heat is equal to, that is done. So I'm going to equation number 2. Equation number 2, what is the value of what is the coefficient? What is the coefficient of x in equation number 2? The coefficient of x in equation number 2 is the number written before the x, that is 2. So I hit 2, heat is equal to, then you go to y, write 1, heat is equal to, then you go to 6, heat is equal to. You see that? Now when you hit is equal to again, then you will start generating the values of x and y. So heat is equal to, we got x is 7. Okay, x is 7, we got that. And then heat again is equal to, let us hit again is equal to, okay, you'll get the value of y. Okay, heat again is equal to, you see that y equals to -8. And we got that. We got y equals to -8, and we also got y, we got x, and we got y. So x we got 7, and y we got -8. So our answers are correct. Hope that helps. Then let me move on. Okay, remember the questions which we blocked? We blocked the other 2 questions here. Okay. All right, solve these simultaneous equations, okay, by elimination method. No worries. Let me block this. Okay, let me block this for now. Okay, let me block that for now. Solve this simultaneous equation. We have this one here by elimination method. Okay, so what we do, elimination method, remove one letter to get the other. So let me start removing letter x. Letter x, put a boundary. This number comes here, and this number comes here. Okay. Now, why should I do so? Because I want to remove letter x, but letter x has 2 and 3. Now, these numbers 2 and 3 are not the same. In order for you to remove a letter, you must ensure that the numbers on that letter are the same. But in this case, the numbers on x are not the same. The numbers on x are 2 and 3. Those numbers are not the same. So we have to make them the same. So how? Take the 3, multiply it here. Take this 2, multiply it down. So how do we move from here? 3 times 2, 3 times y, and 3 times 19. Okay, 2 times 3x, 2 times y, 2 times 21. See that? Okay, I hope that helps. This will be 3 times 2x is 6x, 3 times y, this will be 3y, equals to 3 times 19, that will be 57, I guess. Okay, you can check that. 19 times 3, this is 27, 57, correct. Okay. Then you can do 2 times 3x again, this will be 6x, 2 times negative y, this will be negative 2y. This is 2 times 21, that will be 42. You can help to check me that. Okay, now, do you notice that now the numbers on x are the same? Okay, the numbers on x are in each case the same. So now, after getting the numbers on x, after getting the numbers on x being the same, then we can remove letter x. But remember what I said? Check the signs on letter x. Check the signs on letter x. Signs are all the same. Positive, positive, you subtract. Even if the signs were negative, negative, what you have to understood, for same signs we subtract. Okay, all right, let us subtract that. 6x minus 6x, this cancels. Now 3y minus, so you write here 3y minus 3y minus negative 2y. So 3y minus negative 2y. Be very careful over there. This is the most part which confuses students. Positive 3y is here, minus negative 2y. I hope that is clear. Then you do 57 minus 42. Can you see that? Cool, yeah? Now negative times negative is positive, so 2y, this is 3y, equals to 57 minus 42, that equals to, this is 5, that is 15. Right, 3y plus 2y, that is 5y, equals to 15. Okay, to get the value of y, divided by 5, this will cancel. Y equals to 15 divided by 5 is 3. So we got here y, let me write here, y equals to 3. Okay? Now, after getting y equals to 3, some of my students take this value y equals to 3, they substitute y equal to 3 in any of these two equations, and then they find the value of x, and then they are good to go, which is okay. But I don't want to lose the meaning of elimination method, removing one letter and get the value of the other letter. So you can pause the video before I delete all this and transfer this wonderful working onto your worksheet. Otherwise, let me delete all these so that I can show you, because we already found the value of y. Now I want to show you how do we find the value of x by elimination method. Now, to find the value of x by elimination method, we need to remove y. Okay. To find the value of x, we need to remove y. Okay. Now, remember what I said? If you want to remove letter y, make sure that the numbers on letter y are the same. But surprisingly, I do not have the numbers on y. But remember what I said? If you don't have a number, keep 1. If you don't have a number, keep 1. Now, after keeping 1, you can see that the numbers on y are the same. So if the numbers are already the same, there is no point of making them the same, because there is no any need for that, because the numbers are already the same. So what we do, we go to step number 2, which is to remove those letters y. Okay. How do we remove the letter y? Now, can you notice that the signs on y are different? Here is positive and here is negative. Cool, yeah? So here, for different signs, take note of that. For different signs, remember what we said? Same signs, subtract. Different signs, add. So cool. Same signs, subtract. Positive, positive, subtract. You remove this. Negative, negative, same signs, also subtract. But different signs, positive, negative, you have to add. Or negative, positive, you have to add. See that? Cool, yeah? Good. Now, we already understood that for different signs and same numbers, different signs, we have to add. Now, see, 1y plus negative 1y. Here students get confused, but I always say positive times negative is negative. So we have negative 1y, we have 1y here. So what is 1y minus 1y? Any number minus itself equals 0. So equals 0. So we don't write that, we cancel that. I hope that helps. Okay. So 1y plus negative 1y, this will be 0. So now we proceed. 2x plus 3x, you write here 2x plus 3x equals 19 plus 19 plus 21. So addition is taking place throughout. See that? 2x plus 3x, this is 5x, equals to 19 plus 21, this is 0, 40. Okay? Now, 19 plus 21 equals 40. To find the value of x, you need to divide by 5, divided by 5. X equals 40 divided by 5 is 8. You see that? Cool, yeah? So I got y is 3 and I got x is 8. Now, suppose you have time to check your answers using a calculator. How do we do that? Okay, so what we do, we take our calculator, and the calculator which I have today for demonstration is this calculator, which is a computerized, or we say this is a programmed calculator. A programmed calculator is a calculator which is compatible with the computer. So this calculator is compatible with a computer, right? So now, remember what I said? Before using a calculator, you have to make sure that letters are matching. So x matching exactly, y they are matching exactly, the numbers are matching exactly. So we can use a calculator to do that. But before that, put the numbers. The letter y has no number, put 1. The letter y has no number, put y. Put 1. So call your calculator and you're good to go. Okay, now what did I say using this calculator? You press mod for the first time and then you choose option 5. Option 5. Option 5 is having 1, 2, 3, 4 options. We don't need all of them. We need only option 1 for simultaneous equation. Option 1. Okay, now option 1 is giving me 2 equations. We have equation 1, we have equation 2. So equation 1 is here. Let me do labeling. Equation 1 is here. This is equation number 1. And this is equation number 2. Okay. Now after that, put the numbers or put the coefficients into your calculator. Okay, let me start with equation 1. Equation 1 has got the number 2. Okay, equation 1A is 2. A is 2. So you write 2, heat is equal to, and B for equation number 1 is this number here before y. Okay, so write 1, heat is equal to. Now C for equation number 1 is this answer here, 19. So put 19, heat is equal to. Okay, then the calculator will automatically take you to equation number 2. So equation number 2, A is the number on x. A is the number on x, so write that. Heat is equal to. Now, here you should be very careful. B is -1. -1. Be careful with sign, yeah? -1. Heat is equal to. Then C is 21. You see that? Heat is equal to. Now, when you heat is equal to for the second time, you see that it's giving you x is 8. And we got here x is 8. See that? X is 8. When you heat is equal to for the another time, you get y equals to 3. And we got y equals to 3. I hope that helps. And we are good to go to next question. But before that, let me check the time. We have gone. Our video is 1 hour 9 minutes. I guess let us stop here and make it part 2. So I'll be making another video to continue with the remaining other questions, and that will be part 3. For now, let us stop here. Bye bye for now. I'll be back.